You ready?
And one was last year, so I'm playing in Vancouver. Had a great year the year before. When I go into camp, and I'm kind of like odd man out, like just out of nowhere. No answer, no nothing for it. Kind of getting like the bullshit run around, like oh, it's this person's fault, like this and that.
Right.
I get traded to Anaheim. Actually, I'm there for 6 weeks, playing incredible. Everything's going well. The team's struggling a little bit. We're not going to make the playoffs. I get traded again, and from there I go to St. Louis. So my deal's up. Yeah, yes and no. So my deal's up at the end of that year. So the whole time I'm thinking, fuck, like it's gonna be tough to get a new deal. This and that. You're thinking money, happiness, all that. Go to St. Louis. They're on a heater at that point. No injuries though, so they kind of have their team. They're rolling. I play in and out here and there. Play a couple games. We go on a long playoff run. No one gets hurt, so I don't get a chance to play. The whole time, all I'm thinking about, couldn't care less about like what was happening in the moment, like realizing that we made history. All I'm thinking about is, okay, what's going to happen this summer? I'm going to get a new deal. Where am I going to play? This, that, just things that are out of my control.
Right.
We end up winning a fucking Stanley Cup. I got a Stanley Cup ring. I have a day with the cup in my place.
Which is the dream.
Which 100% I dreamed of since, I can't even remember. And I'll never forget. And even, to this day, I was still, it's fucked up to think about it, but it was incredible because I lived out my dream. I got the cup, I got a ring, but it hurt my deal coming in this summer and my contract right now. And then I look back on it and I have like video pictures. And that day I'll never forget. I'm like, I don't care if I make another fucking dollar in my life. I had the Stanley Cup at my house in Toronto, watching my mom, my dad. I'm getting fucking goosebumps when I'm talking about it. I might start crying here.
Let it fly.
Yeah, Jesus. And then specifically my brother. Me and my brother are best friends. And he probably loves hockey more than me, which is crazy. He works in finance in New York, so completely different field. And seeing him lift the Stanley Cup over his head was, to me, the fucking coolest, most emotional, amazing feeling I've ever had in my life. And a moment I'll never forget. And I'll always look back on that. And you know what? Like, as shit as things may have gone, and I may be making less money than I deserve this year or whatever it may be.
Right.
I could be fucking unemployed, and that was all worth it for that moment there. So like
bro, you're not going to remember it with X amount of, like, whatever the amount of dollars you made playing for a decade in the NHL or decade plus. Like, it's all a lump sum, like whatever, you know what I mean? But that moment you'll remember forever. It's like, you can't put a price on that.
And it was that moment where I'm like, you know what? I don't care. It kind of set me up for this year and even however many years more I play.
Right.
It doesn't fucking matter what happens. Control what you can control. And family happiness, family health, like those are the two most important things. So once I saw that day, how happy they were, I'm like, you know what? This is all put into perspective. It is the fucking coolest moment in my life.
Fire. You ready?